Hello, police? Yeah, I've just been robbed. What did he look like? Well, he had an ugly beard, he had glasses, and he was a little bit overweight.
Hi guys. A lot of you guys probably don't know this, but many part 2 questions on the speaking test have to do with describing someone.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to be helping you guys out with today.
Yeah, so by the end of this video, you're going to feel a lot more confident and a lot more able to describe people in all types of situations. So this is Phil.
And Michael.
And you're watching the IELTS Grind.
Remember to like and subscribe.
Yeah. Okay, so I was robbed earlier today and I had to call the police and give them a description of the robber.
What did he look like?
Well, he was a fairly tall man, above average height.
Okay.
I would say he was of medium build. He wasn't sort of very, I wouldn't say sort of very fit, but medium build, I'd say. When I was robbed, he had a sort of long, curly beard. It was a bit unkempt, definitely hadn't been styled in a long time.
Did he have a bit of a neck beard?
Well, yeah, it extended all the way down to his chest hair, if I remember rightly.
A wild man.
Yeah. He was wearing glasses, and he had a fairly significant nose, I would say. And I wouldn't say he was particularly attractive, but he wasn't ugly looking. Anyone sound like anyone you know?
What color eyes did he have?
I don't know. I didn't.
You suck.
This is the question, because my wife always asks me what colour my eyes are, and I have no idea. And sometimes,
They're brown, Phil.
Sometimes she says they're green, sometimes they're blue, and now you're saying they're brown. I have no idea what colour my eyes are, let alone the robber.
So my eyes are hazel, by the way. And it's true, I did have a beard. In fact, you can probably see in the next couple seconds some terrible videos that we took of that.
We went to a barber earlier. This is just so he can have an alibi, so he doesn't have to be the robber and go to prison.
So, you know what? You took the piss out of me. It's payback time.
Okay.
You know what? I was also robbed. It was terrible. He took my money, he took my phone, then he gave my phone back because it's a bad phone.
Yeah.
And, you know, he was actually quite polite. He was very polite about it. He said, "Give me your money, please." And then he gave me back my ID card. It was really nice.
Yeah. But what did this gentleman robber look like?
He was a bit shorter than me.
Oh.
Okay. I would say a little pudgy. He has not a really sharp angular nose.
Yeah. Not a Roman nose.
Not a Roman nose.
Not a Roman
yes.
nose. Okay.
He had kind of like they not very deep set eyes. They kind of bulge out like a frog, and and he also, it looks like he hadn't shaved in a bit, but also that he doesn't grow hair very quickly. He had gray hair and a pretty stylish do. Okay, and let's see, he doesn't quite have a double chin.
Doesn't quite have a double chin.
But he's getting there.
Yeah, it's all those burgers.
So we were quite mean to each other with the words that we were using. But I hope you guys can watch that section again and write down any sentences or words.
Yeah.
Because this is how natives would use them.
Definitely. So if you're going to describe a person's appearance, then you would certainly focus on features of the face. So eye color, maybe the size and shape of the nose. You would definitely talk about their hair, color, length. You may, if you're being unkind, talk about their double chin. Then also, if you notice, we spoke about height. And also sort of the general shape of their body. So you may describe someone as I said, of average build, so it's sort of an average shaped body, or you may be very unkind, as Michael was, and talk about their beer belly. I've invested a lot of money into my beer belly, and I'm proud of it.
Yes, you can call someone. Calling someone fat is quite mean.
Yeah.
But you can say they're a little bit chubby,
Yeah.
a little bit tubby, or a little bit pudgy. All of
Yeah.
these are nicer ways to say that someone is a little heavier.
Yeah.
You could also say that they're quite overweight.
Overweight,
as
yeah.
he said. On the opposite end, you can say that they're quite slim.
Yeah.
You
Thin.
can thin as well. He's quite thin. You can also use idioms. So if you say he's built like an ox, that means he's very strong.
Yeah.
He's built like an ox. Yes.
Yeah. So apart from appearance, what else can we talk about for any type of person that we need to describe in the IELTS?
So there's two things. The first one would be it's also related to appearance, but like how they style themselves.
Yeah.
And then the second thing would be personality. Let's talk about the first one first.
Yeah, so sort of their sense of fashion, style, yeah.
So he's smartly dressed.
Yeah.
He's quite unkempt.
Scruffy. Also.
Scruffy, that's
Yeah,
a good
yeah,
one.
yeah. She's always very elegant. That would describe someone who dresses in very fine clothes and, you know, takes pride in their appearance.
Yep.
Yeah. And also you could talk about their style. So things like, you know, they're a rocker. That's a style of clothing.
They're a punk.
They're a punk. My brother used to be a punk.
Did he have a big
Yeah,
mohawk?
he had a mohawk which he kept up for some reason with soap. I never understood it. So yeah, punk. You could also talk about someone who is a skater kid, for example.
Yep.
That's another style.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you can also say what they look like. He looks like a rapper.
Yeah.
You know, has a big chain and.
There's a very good phrase if you're describing two people that you know and you're trying to describe how they're similar in appearance. You can say he takes after. So he takes after his father, which could mean that he has a similar personality, but also that he looks similar to them. You know? Or you can also say he has his father's eyes.
Yes.
Which doesn't mean he stole the eyes of his father while he was sleeping. It just means he inherited them. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He has his father's nose.
Yeah.
He has his father's face. Yeah.
And so apart from talking about the style that someone dresses themselves in, we can also talk about personality.
So you can say someone is charming or
Yeah.
charismatic.
Yeah.
That means that they're very personable. It's easy to like them.
Yeah.
They say smooth things. They say the right thing.
Yeah. And someone has an outgoing personality.
Yep. And the opposite of that would be introverted.
Yeah, yeah. What would you say? Are you an extrovert or an introvert?
Ooh, that's tough because we use them in two different ways.
Yeah, yeah.
So the real meaning of introvert and extrovert is where you get your energy from. So if you spend your time with people, if you spend time with people and you feel more energized, you're an extrovert. If you spend time with people and you feel more tired and you need to be alone to get your energy, you're an introvert. But, you know, we've kind of taken these words and changed them into outgoing and not outgoing.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yes.
That's more the common use of the words.
Yes. So I'm quite outgoing.
Yeah.
And Phil is not.
It really depends. It really depends on the day. Sometimes I can do well in a crowd, you know. I do well with the attention. But sometimes I do like to have that time alone. So apart from the outgoing people, we could say that someone's quite shy.
Reserved.
Reserved, yeah. Keeps to themselves.
Yes.
Yeah. And how would you describe someone sort of down the middle, as I said before? It's a tough one, that one. Often we split them in two different groups.
Yeah,
normally,
it's one or the other.
Yeah.
I'm thinking they're not too outgoing.
Yeah.
Like a modifier like that. Do you have a specific word?
Yeah, yeah. I think this is what I would say. You would describe them either with a modifier, or you would use something like, you know, an adverb of frequency. They're sometimes outgoing, but often they're quite shy.
Okay.
I could say that.
Yeah.
But it's one of those strange things. You're either camp A or camp B. Normally, I would say, yeah. And there's also, if we're talking about people, apart from describing their appearance, describing their style, and describing their personality, there's one other thing that you can talk about. It may just be one sentence, but you can always talk about this for every single person that you know, apart from your family, apart from your parents, apart from your sisters and brothers. It's how you met the person. Yeah. So
how did you meet your father?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, it's modern times, perhaps you could describe that. But normally, if I was describing, if the question was describe a person who you would like to go on holiday with, I might describe Bill and describe his appearance, his personality, and then I might say, I first met Bill on my first day of school in my history class.
And we've been best friends ever since.
Yeah. So that's another thing. It might just be an extra sentence. There might be a funny story that you could tell in connection to that as well. Yeah. Okay, so why don't we do that? Why don't we describe some people?
Okay, I'll give you a topic and then you give me a topic.
Okay.
And we'll try to go for 2 minutes.
Let's do it.
Can you set a little timer for us?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors to see who goes first.
Oh, I'm very good at rock, paper, scissors.
I don't know how.
I'm an expert at this game. Okay, let's try it. Okay. One,
rock,
two,
paper,
three.
scissors.
Oh, I gave myself away. Okay, I'll go first.
So your topic is describe a old person who you know. And go.
Okay. One of my favourite seniors would have to be my grandfather. So he's a fairly tall man, and back when he was younger, he was quite well built. But in later life, he's sort of deteriorated a little bit. But he still is fairly fit. As a young man, he had very, very dark red hair, very pale skin. But ever since I've known him, he's had a full head of white hair. And this is actually something that I would love to have myself. I really don't want to go bald when I get older. And he's always been quite an outgoing sort of person. And I remember as a child, he was always very encouraging. He used to take us as children to do lots of activities. And we always had a lot of fun with him. Although he wasn't soft on us. He would always discipline us if needed, which happened quite a lot. I've got 3 brothers and a sister, and I think we were a handful for my grandparents. How are we doing for time? Oh, still going. And the first time I met him, obviously, was when I was born. But one of my fondest memories of him is at Christmas time. And he always used to dress up as Father Christmas. And he used to use one of us children as his elf. So he would be at the Christmas tree giving away the presents, and he would hand it to one of the children. And I just remember that he always made everyone feel very happy, and that kind of feeds back to his outgoing personality. And he used to give us the presents, and we would always go and hand it to the aunts and uncles. But I remember as a young child, I didn't know...
Thank you.
Oh, is that... Oh.
Do you still see this person?
I do. I've not seen my grandfather for about 6 months, but I do talk to him on FaceTime and Skype.
Thank you. Okay. By the way, what's another name for Father Christmas?
I don't know any other name for Father Christmas.
It's Santa Claus.
Is it? Is it though? It's in the UK we say Father Christmas, whereas in the States we'd say Santa Claus.
Yep, Old Saint Nick, Father Christmas, Santa Claus.
Do you know where that comes from? Santa Claus?
Yeah.
From which
Old
language?
Saint Nick. It's
I know. I think it's from the
Are you
Dutch.
talking about the story or
No, the name Santa Claus. It comes from the Dutch, I think. Sinterklaas. I think that's Saint Claus. I think that's where it comes from.
They're different.
Okay.
Look it up. Don't look it up. Don't look up Sinterklaas.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so 2 minutes on the clock. Can you describe a teacher who influenced you?
Okay.
Let's go. 1, 2, 3, go.
So, a teacher who influenced me. I'd have to go with Mr. K. So, Mr. K was a teacher from my high school. I went to a school called Lake Braddock in Northern Virginia, and he had been there for a very long time. He was first my biology teacher when I was a freshman, and you know, this was the class where we had to dissect a frog and a baby pig, and he always made the classes really fun and interesting. He was very sarcastic. You know, he liked to make fun of his students. He was a very short, kind of angry man. He was balding and he did martial arts, and so he was quite fit. He was always quite well built, despite his small size. And he was just a really fun guy. Classes were always super fun. He always told us interesting stories about things that he would do. He would volunteer a lot in the local nature conservancies. And so he went out a lot into nature and helped clean up the parks, get rid of the trash. He influenced me so much that I chose to take his class again later. He was also teaching AP Biology, or AP Environmental Science. That was the class I took in senior year of high school. And he was very much the same, even 4 years later. Really fun classes. You learned a lot. We went out a lot more at that time. We went out to clean up the parks and the surrounding areas, and it really instilled in me a sense of responsibility to you know, help the community and help the environment. I actually went on to get a concentration in environmental policy in college, in large part because of his classes. Yeah, he was just a great guy.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. And are you still in contact with this teacher now?
No. He wasn't that influential.
He did all these wonderful things for you, and you're like, see ya.
Which, by the way, do you think Mr. K was a real person?
I don't think so.
Okay, he was actually.
He was, okay.
But you can lie.
Yeah.
The examiner does not know who you are. They don't know your history. If you can't think of a teacher who influenced you, make one up.
Yeah.
Talk about the teacher you wish you had.
Yeah. Or, you know, you've seen that really fun film yesterday, talk about that teacher. or you had a conversation with someone who was referring to a teacher, steal their story. Yeah, it doesn't have to be true, it just has to be in English.
And well said.
Yeah.
Yes. Which reminds me, I hope that you guys go back and listen to our answers again, both in the first part and what we just did, so that you can find vocabulary and, more importantly, sentence frames, sentences that you can steal and use in your own speaking.
Yeah. So it's not a question of just learning phrases, it's adapting phrases. That's what we're saying here. Yeah. Okay, so just some tips. We said that you don't always have to talk about something that's true. The other point is, if you find that perhaps you're running out of things to say for one person, you could start talking about another person that influenced you.
And say they're the same.
And they're the same person. Yeah. So the point is, it has to be in English, but it doesn't have to be true. And as long as you cover the points well, then you can get a good score in the IELTS.
Yep. So remember what you need to do. Go back, watch this again, write down sentences that you can steal. I also recommend in your vocabulary notebook that you guys make one page just for describing appearance, make another page just for describing personality, and fill that out. Take the words that we gave you and also find more and put them in there. Yeah.
I think this is a very common topic that can come up, so it's well worth your time to practice this. Just talking about people in general, how to describe them.
And by the way, we just spoke off the cuff because we're native speakers. Lucky for us, it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
But remember, you have a full minute to prepare before you speak for your 2 minutes. So if you want to learn about how to prep for that, please click the link down below and learn about the question method and the story method, which are 2 ways to make sure that you're using that 1 minute well. Okay.
So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and if you've enjoyed this video, give us a like. And of course, if you have any questions at all, please leave us a comment, and we will see you in the next video.
See you next time. Peace.
Bye. So Michael, why do you have that ugly beard?
to hide my fat.
So what do you think of the shave?
He did a really good job getting around all my zits.
So Michael, do you feel thinner? Because you don't look thinner.
No!